Come with me as I do the wild cave tour at Raccoon Mountain Caverns in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Hey there, I'm Crystal, the creator of Dates in the States, where my husband and I share all about our dates across the United States. However, he was not with me on this tour because this was part of the Women in Travel Summit, where us women not only learn valuable skills in the travel industry, but we do awesome excursions like this one. I loved this cave tour where I joined so many amazing women. We had such a great time. So I'm going to dive in and give you a quick commentary throughout this video and give you my 100% truth about this tour in case you are looking to do it yourself. Okay, so from what you just seen, we joined a really wonderful tour guide who got us all set up with knee pads, helmets, headlamps, and gloves. We entered the cave close to their little gift shop and building where you check in, and another outpost where you get ready. We walked along the paths that everyone takes if they are there for the Crystal Palace tour, which is the standard tour of the cave. And so we kind of just sped through all that. And then we got to where we needed to enter for the wild cave tour. And here we are. So, yep, it's exactly what you were thinking when we arrived. Like, that's where we have to enter. How are we going to fit through there? And our tour guide went first, of course, and then each of us followed. So she was on the other side coaching us, like, turn this way or turn that way, pivot when you get to a certain point, and swing your feet around. And honestly, I like watching everybody in front of me. I was a little nervous going through here because I saw women skinnier than me with their butts touching the ceiling, and I was a little worried about getting stuck. And like, to be honest, that's my biggest fear, getting stuck and not being able to move. I'm sure you've seen those movies where they are in a cave and all of a sudden they get stuck and can't move and have a panic attack, which is exactly what you're not supposed to do when you get stuck. And that's all I kept thinking in this part of the tour was, I'm just going to get stuck. But thankfully I didn't. I swung my feet around pretty much right at this point right here, and was able to touch the ground with the help of the tour guide. She was awesome. And to be honest, it's quite hard to record while holding the GoPro, so I'm sorry for all the shakiness. Obviously, we got through just fine. That was actually the tightest area we had to go through. The rest really wasn't that bad, but there were definitely long tunnels and then open spaces to explore. But it was total darkness. There were no lights to guide you through the cave. Like there was if you did the Crystal Palace tour in the beginning, but we were doing the deep dive into the cave, and so we were in total darkness except for our headlamps. And let me just say, you haven't experienced darkness until you're in a cave. You won't see anything like it.
Is there? Wow. I just tried to I put my right instead of my left. You got it. I'm tall. Yeah. I got the teeny little legs.
And yeah, as you can see, like going through this cave, those tunnels, it was, I've never experienced anything like it. And this part, yeah, we would get into like these traffic jams, we called them. So there was about, I think, 10 women, I'm not sure, with us at the time. And so, you like a few would walk ahead and then we'd have to wait for people. So some of it we were just sitting, like right now, we were just hanging out, sitting, talking, and just waiting to be able to move. And up ahead is what they called the womb. I think that's what they called it because, it's like this narrow canal, and then all of a sudden you emerge like a baby.
I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
Stop in the birth canal.
There's no stopping
The
it.
head's out. The head's out.
Are you good?
I'm here.
Okay.
It's a baby girl.
He's getting thirsty already.
Me.
Yeah. Because we're sweating.
Hey, girl.
I do believe this tunnel was the longest one we had to go through. And it wasn't bad. We stopped a lot along the way, and it wasn't too tiny like the previous ones. So it was pretty cool. One of the questions I was asked is, what do you wear for a tour like this? And this is honestly something that my friend Kristen and we had a really hard time figuring out ourselves before we got there because, first of all, they said that the cave was going to be really cold, and honestly, it was 100% humidity, so it ended up being very warm. It was probably about 80 degrees in this cave, but you want to wear clothes that are going to cover you. So I wore my hiking boots and yoga pants, and then I wore a fleece because I thought it was going to be cold. And thankfully, the tour guide was really nice and she let me borrow a shirt. So I wore a long sleeve light shirt, and then they provided everything else like the headlamps, the gloves, the knee pads. I would recommend if you have elbow pads, maybe bring those. They didn't have those, and I wish I had them. And then also, as you can see, you're crawling on very rough terrain, and some areas have puddles. So I did end up getting wet. So I really wish that I had something waterproof. So keep that in mind if you do this tour.
There's another puddle up here too.
And another thing to keep in mind that people have asked me about is, how long is the tour? It was about 2 hours long, I would say, and you are there without a bathroom. So definitely keep that in mind. Make sure to use the bathroom beforehand because you're going to be in a cave for 2 hours without one. And also, they don't let you bring water and stuff like that, like no snacks in the cave. So be prepared. And there is some light climbing, but obviously it's a lot of crawling, so it wasn't too intensive, I would say. And we did take a lot of breaks, and that was really nice because the tour guide would like talk to us and tell us some history about the cave and some insights. And then she would tell us some areas where we could play and have fun. Like this, she told us to swing, and so I tried it. And there was areas where we could do like try pull-ups and things like that. Some of the girls on the tour called our tour guide a little cave elf. You could tell she was very familiar with this cave and loved her job, which made it even more fun. Wait, did I just hear something? Just kidding. But I have to say, I definitely kept looking behind me a lot, especially when I was close to the end, because I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Descent, but you definitely don't want to be the last person crawling through sections of the cave.
How you doing back there? You would never get it. You would never see it again. Well, that's not what that. 1 minute. 60 seconds.
Okay, and here we are getting close to the end of the tour, and I'll show you a little bit of the map at the very end. But basically, the tour, you kind of made a loop, and obviously, when you're in this cave, like I was so turned around, I didn't know where I was the whole time. But you actually, like, pretty much right after this section, we ended up right back to where we were, and I didn't even know it. And there were lots of sections like this one where we could slide down the rocks on our bums. And that part was kind of scary because you are basically just sliding into darkness and taking the tour guide's word as to where you're going to end up. And I did not really enjoy this part very much, but I tried it anyways. I pretty much just shimmied, I didn't slide. And then this part was a really small squeeze through, as you can see the person behind me. And then there was certain rocks that echoed, so you could play the drums. So the tour guide was showing us how to do that. But here we are, and we made it to the end. And here's the map. She's showing us exactly where we walked throughout the cave, which was probably only a mile, but it felt a lot longer because obviously you're climbing and you're crawling and taking your time. If you are ever in Chattanooga, I highly suggest this tour. It's life-changing and you won't regret it. Link is down below for you to book it right now. Thanks for watching.